Obviously, it wasn't a great first half. What was the message like at halftime, and how did you like the fight that you saw in the second half to come back and win?
Saying it wasn't a great first half is probably an understatement. But the message at halftime was, my challenge all week was we got to play hard and we got to play fast. And to some degree, there's another gear in there that I don't even know if our guys know they have. To our guys' credit, they came out and got a spark on the first play, and the defense played a great second half. I wish we could do that the whole game and just really grind down on somebody, but you can't say anything bad about the way that the defense played in the second half. And offense, despite a million mistakes, did just enough.
Scott, you've talked about this many times before about how you've liked the fight of this team, how time and time again they've come back and found a way to do what they needed to do. What was that? What does this show for this team to be able to come back this evening and find a way to blow it away?
Well, at this point in the season, there's no more prognosticating about what you might be. You are kind of what you are at this point. We're a decent team that's gone through a lot this year. We'll keep getting better, but we are kind of where we are, and we find ourselves when we play hard and fast, we find ourselves in close games with other teams in the league. We got one more chance to go play together as a unit, and I'd love to see us play our best game.
Coach, you run the ball on third and need them in the final drive for offense, let the time go down. What's the kind of confidence you have for your defense in that situation?
Yeah, I had. First of all, let me back up. I want to congratulate Oklahoma State and the guys that are coaching there right now. They made change in mid-season, and I think the guys that are still there, players and coaches, have rallied around each other, and that's a hard circumstance to get better in. But watching them play Kansas State last week had me concerned, and those coaches are doing a great job, and those players are playing hard. What was the question?
Yeah, you ran the ball on third and need for the final drive offensively.
Yeah.
Let the time go down. What's the kind of confidence you have in your defense?
My mind, I'm coming up with plays that I'm like, oh, we might score on that. We could, but when you do some of those things, there's some risk involved, other than just handing it off with a good scheme. And at the end of that game, I had confidence in two things. One was our kicker, because he's done an unbelievable job all year, and the other was our defense, the way they played the entire second half. And we didn't get aggressive in that situation, and our defense won it for us.
Coming out of the break, what did you see from Oklahoma State that led to the play call that led to the big 83-yard touchdown?
To be honest, that wasn't a halftime adjustment. I'd like to tell you that we came in and came up with this great play. That was a play that we had on the call sheet going into the game. The defense that they've adjusted to really in the last 2 weeks really matches everybody in kind of a match quarters, call it zero with no blitz, whatever you want to call it. And when you can motion guys and confuse them with who they've got, you have a chance to pop somebody wide open. You can't go to the bank on it, but they busted that one, and we had a guy run wide open, and we had one later in the game too against them. We called some of the shots that I knew we had to hit because the way they were playing in the first half and didn't hit them. Knew we were going to have to hit our share of those because of the way they've transitioned to play defense, and it took us a while to hit one, but that was a big one.
Considering the first half, what does that do to the confidence of the team to jump out like that in the second half?
We lost 2 games at home that we had a chance to win, and in both of those games we came out and didn't do much with the ball, getting the ball to start the second half. That was a big improvement, and I think we needed that just to get us within one score. I think that kind of elevated the effort of the defense and the belief that the defense was playing with, and we managed to get 2 more before the end of it. So I told the team I'm recovering from my 3rd heart attack of the night, but when you get older in coaching too, I think you're able to stay a little calmer, and that's one thing I think our coaching staff did a good job of, not getting frustrated despite some things that would frustrate you, and staying calm and trying to guide the team in.
Coach, considering you yards, most of those on offense, holding false starts. Just what can you evaluate from that and then go forward to BYU?
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm talking about. As much as we talk about work on those things not happening, that's kind of who we are right now, and we have to wear that. I have to wear that as a head coach. Our assistants have to wear it. The players have to wear it. That kills drives, and it did tonight. You know, it's a bunch of things. Sometimes we're not sprinting out to get lined up at receiver, and so he has to wait before he puts somebody in motion, and the offensive line doesn't stay set long enough. You know, we false started up front a couple times, and you know, the holding penalties, you know, I have to look at more than the little tablet I have on the sideline, but those were unfortunate. It's the between the snap fouls that you can't always control, and those are experience and discipline thing, and I would have hoped we were better at that at this point. So we have to wear that.
Taven threw two pretty ugly picks in the first half. He hobbled off the field after a sack. Was there any consideration of making a switch at halftime as far as the quarterback position is concerned?
Yeah, we had plays up for Davi. We kind of talked at half and we're just going to stick with what we were doing. When Tate does things right, he's good. You know, he's playing his first full year of football too, and you know, we're thin at that position anyway, and we're going to keep making the decision that we think is best for the team. And you know, last week or 2 weeks ago, we thought we needed to put Davi in to get us a spark. This time, because of what we thought was going to work from a play calling perspective, we thought Tay gave us this chance.
And what do you think it says about him that he was able to rally and make some plays for you in the second half to win the game?
You know, he's done that twice this year. First game and this game. I do feel like once the game kind of settles down and he settles in, I think he plays better. He threw for a lot of yards.
Coach, obviously it wasn't the first half that you wanted, but how does it feel to be able to mount that second half, come back and get the win for your seniors tonight?
Yeah, I started, it wasn't frustration, but there started to be some vocal seniors on the sideline. Paul called the offense up. Miles was getting vocal. To be honest, we need more of that. We need more energy. Our guys play hard, but we don't always have the highest energy because we don't have enough vocal leaders, and it was actually refreshing to see some of those guys do that. I know this game meant a lot to them tonight because it was senior night. I'm glad that they were able to finish it the right way.
Coach, this is the last home game. How would you describe your first season being back home, and has it been a good season?
It's been what it is. It's a fight, you know, when you get 70 new guys in a portal and try to teach them all on offense and the defense, you don't even know the guys that are on your own team, much less who you're bringing in. We've had some unusual circumstances this year. It's been what it's been. And that being said, we've been close to having a lot better season than we have. The cards haven't fallen that way, and we haven't earned a couple. But I'm proud of these guys for progress and fight. And we got one more chance to play together, and I want us just to have fun doing that and shoot our best shot and see where the chips fall.
What would it mean to make a bowl game?
I think it'd be the biggest thing. I think it'd be great for the seniors. You know, is it totally necessary for us to continue progressing as a program? Probably not. But you know, that's definitely a goal that we set out to achieve at the beginning of the year. Certainly a couple games that would have already got us there, but we have one more chance against a really good team. So we're going to shoot our shot, see what we can do.
Coach, in the second half, your defense only gives up 1 first down. What does that unit mean to you?
Yeah, you know, that unit, to be frank, has been ahead of the offense kind of the entire time. And that's usually what happens when you're installing new schemes, because it's just easier to get defensive scheme up and going than offense. But I think they've continued to improve. Man, Coach Grinch, Coach Dawson, Coach Harris, Coach D'Onofrio, Kenny, they're doing an unbelievable job. And they're shorthanded. We've lost some guys. You know, they're getting other guys ready to play. You know, Kmart's down a couple guys. Doss is down a guy. Grinch is down a guy. that means that they've done a good job coaching the bottom of the roster too. So players and coaches alike, our defense has kept us in some games this year, and I appreciate it.
Coach, the defense gives up 200 yards in the first half. In the second half, it was 27 yards, and Oklahoma State was 0-5 with third down. What changed in halftime to really turn up the juice on the defense?
What changed at halftime is a good question, because I was very disappointed. You can't, as a leader, you can't lose your mind 8 minutes into the game. But I was very disappointed in how that game started. We made the decision to put our defense out on the field first to start games. In football, people script up first 12 plays, first 15 plays. They hit us with a lot of knickknacks and stuff that got some yards on that first drive. But that being said, if we play the first drive like we probably play the rest of the game, it's probably, we got a little more breathing room. So I want our defense to play complete games. They certainly played a complete second half today.
Scott, you talked about when you came back here wanting to be somewhere where you can go to work and enjoy yourself. So with one game left, you talked about wanting to have fun at BYU, but this season, especially this stretch you've been on, has it been what you thought it would be?
I love UCF. I love coaching here. My family likes it here. I hate losing, and we've lost more than I want to this year. Once that's fixed, I'm gonna be a really happy person. But that's first years. I was pretty miserable my first year here, the first go around, because you just have so much to fix, and lose my voice at practice. And by year two, the players fixed stuff, and we had a more complete roster. And I'm not looking that far ahead. We're looking at this week, but that's kind of been this year too. And I love it here. Really appreciate this university and the leadership here. I'm just anxious to keep improving.
On a much less serious note, did you notice the shirtless section in the 220 right before halftime, and they grew at halftime and seemed to bring a lot of energy in the stadium?
I did not notice that, but I will probably see it on news, and thank you to them. I hope it was all guys.
A few more.
Is it finally nice to get a close one?
Yeah. Yes, it is. We've had 2 heartbreakers at home, and it says a lot about a team. I've been part of teams where when you get in that situation and that's happened to you before, you start to think, oh no, here we go again. Everybody stayed calm, and it was hard to stay calm when we were jumping off sides and getting holding penalties with chances to score and win the game. But ripping a kid's face off for making a mistake doesn't help you win the game in that situation. That's why I say I think the coaching staff did a good job staying calm and leading them home. And I think that the kids just kept plugging and found a way. And if you're going to win close games, that's what you have to do.
2 more. Scott, it looked like on the running game, Miles got a decent start in the second quarter maybe, but then got maybe banged up in the second half. What did you like to see out of him and that group, because you guys were already short-handed?
Yeah, Miles is just tough. He's exactly what you want on your football team. I can't tell you how much I appreciate him. He's our best leader. He's a warrior. He wasn't 100%, but he went out there and, even selling out to get that last first down for us on 3rd and short just says who he is. The defense they were playing, they've just shifted to last week, kind of surprised Kansas State with it, and they have a lot of guys on a lot of snaps really close to the line of scrimmage. It makes it hard to run the ball. I thought Clint did a good job of picking his spots to get him out of there and try to take away any shots that we were throwing too. So I thought it was a well-coached game on their part. But it's hard to run the ball on a defense like that when they have 9 hats ready to come cap off runs. And we did a good job earning some tough yards at times.
What did you like most about the job Dylan did tonight?
D-Wade? No, he got a game ball tonight. That's 2 games at home where we needed a spark and we were on fumes, and he made a huge play for us. He made 2 tonight. He's a big part of this. He's become one of our best weapons, and he certainly can keep improving, and I know he knows that. But the plays he made out there really gave us 7 and set us up for the winning one, and that was a key part of it.
Kind of guy you want to build a program
Yeah. Again, another young guy that hadn't played a lot of football until this year, but he's also somebody that I think has continued to improve, and hope we can have around here for a while.
All right, thanks everyone.